A world where apes evolved from men? This week I want to talk to you guys about Planet of the Apes, the 1968 science fiction classic starring Charlton Heston, one of my favorite movies of all time. My name is Devin Faraci, and this is Badass Digest. I can still remember the first time I saw Planet of the Apes. It was playing on Channel 11 WPIX in New York. They would have an Apes marathon all week. Each of the movies in the series, there were 5 movies eventually, would play. And as a kid, it blew my mind. Here was this world of apes. The apes were incredible looking. The makeup effects were totally next generation, at least when I was a kid. At the time, all that I knew was that it was this giant yellow-toothed Charlton Heston doing battle with the most incredible looking giant-sized apes I'd ever seen. As I got older and kind of stayed in love with the films, I began to see there was a deeper meaning, there was a deeper political context, there was an awful lot more going on. This was, on some level, afternoon fun, but on a different level, Planet of the Apes offered an awful lot to chew on. Planet of the Apes began as a novel. Pierre, who also wrote Bridge on the River Kwai, which David Lean adapted into one of the all-time classic movies, wrote this novel about some astronauts who travel to another solar system and discover a planet where apes had evolved instead of men. The book got optioned even before it was published. Fox was playing with it for a while. There were a lot of different variations going on. In Boulle's original novel, the world of the apes is actually a high-tech world. It's sort of the late 20th century version of technology. The apes dress just like people dress. So they wear gloves on their feet. They have cars and planes and all those things. And a lot of the scripts that were being written at the time were set in a more modern-day ape society. Rod Serling was brought in, actually, to write a version of the script. And his script was set in a futuristic society. It was decided that it was too expensive. But what Serling did was he put his own personal touch on it. He put that twist ending that he had perfected for the Twilight Zone. That Rod Serling twist ending became probably one of the most defining aspects of the original Planet of the Apes. See, in Boulle's original novel, the Planet of the Apes actually is a different planet somewhere else in the galaxy. Serling's idea was to make the Planet of the Apes Earth the whole time. And I kind of spoiled the movie for you right there, but I think Planet of the Apes might be the single most spoiled movie of all time. So Fox was putting this movie together. They had the Serling draft. They took the elements from it and then began moving forward with a different kind of a setting, making the ape world a more primitive place, just because it was cheaper. They could shoot it in LA at some of the ranches. It cost nothing to build these little adobe huts. All the money really went into the ape makeup. John Chambers, special effects artist, who ended up winning a Special Academy Award for the movie because at that time there was no Academy Award for special makeup effects. The work that he did was unprecedented. Before they actually began shooting the movie, Fox did some screen tests. They brought in Edward G. Robinson to play Dr. Zaius, using Serling's original script. So there's footage that exists of a much more advanced version of Dr. Zaius having a conversation with Taylor, and it's Chambers' makeup showing off how you can take an actor, totally transform them into an ape, but still maintain the ability to play a character.
You see, Mr. Thomas, I know all about man. I think his wisdom must go hand in hand with his idiocy.
Chambers came in and devised a whole system of multiple latex appliances that really revolutionized the entire industry. It looks incredible.
I need you to help me make a fake movie.
So you want to come to Hollywood and act like a big shot without actually doing anything?
Yeah.
You'll fit right in.
The movie this year, Argo, one of the big Oscar contenders, actually features John Chambers. John Chambers worked for the CIA. He made Mission Impossible type disguise kits for the CIA. And John Goodman plays him in the movie Argo, where he helps the CIA extract hostages out of Iran during the Iran hostage crisis. In 1968, the racial message of Planet of the Apes must have hit America square in the nose. Here we have a situation where the white man is at the bottom. He's the oppressed, and he finds himself oppressed by those who might have in a different time period been beneath him. And it's incredible to watch because what we have here is a movie that very specifically hits on some points that at the time would have echoed in every single movie theater. There's a scene where Charlton Heston is in a cage and he's being hit with water from a hose. There's not a person in America in 1968 who wasn't familiar with the idea of Bull Connor and his police turning hoses on civil rights marchers in the South. The situation in the movie is that the humans are made to seem as the other. They're beasts. They're less. Science in the movie has proven that humans are not equal to apes. It's very similar to a number of ridiculous scientific racial theories that were circulating in the 20th century that pretty much excuse segregation and racism. The film has an interesting perspective on secret knowledge, the kind of secret knowledge that conspiracy theorists always kind of believe that our government has. In the movie, Dr. Zaius knows the truth. And what's happening here is the ruling class is keeping everybody else in line through ignorance. These are the ways that people in power stay in power. And what's amazing is that Planet of the Apes teaches us and shows us this in what is essentially a kid-friendly adventure movie. It's a G-rated movie about a bunch of monkeys riding horses shooting people. What I really love, and we're not going to talk about all the rest of the films in the series today, is that each film takes this concept of oppressor and oppressed and keeps flipping it back and forth. We can map different groups onto the sides of the battles in the different movies, but each time the films are exploring different ways that the oppressed remain oppressed, the way that the elite maintain their elite status, and the way that potentially we can change things and create a more equal and happier world. Or, in the nihilistic view of the Planet of the Apes movies, we're trapped and it's never going to get any better.
You blew it up! Oh, damn you! God damn you all to hell!
You know when somebody says I could talk about this all day? Well, I literally could talk about this all day. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a break. We're going to end it right here at part 1. That's right, we're going to have a part 2 at Planet of the Apes next week. So subscribe right now so that you can be notified as soon as part 2 goes live. Comment below, what do you think? What's your favorite Planet of the Apes movie? What's your favorite Planet of the Apes quote? Is it, "Get your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape"? I think that's the most popular one.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
And like us and share us. Let your friends know what we're doing here. And be back here again next week as we continue our exploration of Planet of the Apes. My name is Devin Faraci, and this is Badass Digest.
JB Smoove and Garfield watch Greg Benson's movie review and then debate the true identity of Hollywood's handsomest hero. Philip and his band of Na'vi take to the Hollywood Farmers Market to play their music for Avatar 2. Gray Drake follows up her 50 best movie titles with the 50 worst to ever grace the silver screen. Uncle Al and Jack debate zombie feeding habits, the acting qualities required to play a zombie, and the merit of a zombie flick as a date movie. Ben Lyons gives you the news on Anchorman 2 and Ghostbusters 3, and special guests Josh Horowitz and Exotic Jess stop by. Devin Faraci and his panel of geeks continue their debate about fake geek girls. Get your film fix. Subscribe to CineFix.